For your burn token holders, I got you another banging update. I got the big players in the house giving you the latest news on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba Inu, and XRP. Shib Army is a big one, and you do not want to be going anywhere. So sit back, enjoy, and I let the Shib Army take over. Guys, tell us where we're heading with crypto.
I'm not really sure where we go from here, but it definitely we're in an uptrend. This article talks about just the Bitcoin price action, and it says Bitcoin's rise above 44,000 caused about 100 million in short liquidations on centralized exchanges in the past 24 hours. And I believe this article was as of the 6th. And it talks about since the start of December, exchanges have recorded over $260 million in Bitcoin short liquidations. Bitfinex analysts say while Bitcoin remains volatile, they remain bullish for 2024. The analysts highlighted two factors that could be fueling the recent rally: the upcoming Bitcoin halving in April 2024 and the potential approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. While some market participants are eyeing $100,000 Bitcoin and some are hoping for higher, we believe the Bitcoin price will reach between 60 and 75,000 by the end of next year. This was the Bitfinex analyst, not our takes. But yeah, it's been exciting to watch, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Uh huh.
Yes, it has.
I don't think anybody's shorting Bitcoin. I just think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, you better have a good stop loss if you are, huh? It seems like
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
on a one-way train here recently, but it's been fun to watch. It's been such a long bear market that it's like something fun finally.
Finally, we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
I hope so. Knock on some wood. Gonna go
Well,
back down as quick as it came up, but yeah, it's been fun and kind of interested to see if this triggers the altcoin rally when Bitcoin pulls back. We're seeing some alts, up crazy amounts right now, but I think in general, the Bitcoin Ethereum chart has been kind of stagnant, I guess. Hey, Gabby, go ahead.
So I just want to know because of the halving, because I've never, experienced this before because I wasn't around during the time. Does a normally a bull market always precede um, the halving, and does it stay that way? Does anybody know?
Yeah, so what they're saying, typically Bitcoin kind of leads in dominance going into the halving, and then after, the halving or sometime around that, Bitcoin will kind of pull back, and then alts will rally. But in the meantime, you'll have like Bitcoin go up, and then you'll have little mini altcoin rallies, but the big one should be around the halving. Y'all hop in here. Anybody else who has more info than that?
Well, since minting, or sorry, not minting, since mining Bitcoin it'll be harder for a computer to compute the processes going through, right? So it'll take longer time, and it'll basically make it more scarce. So that's the main important thing that I always look at. There's only 21 million Bitcoin ever created. There will be no more created. And thinking about, a lot of people have lost their cold storages. A lot of people have lost their cold storages and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be very bullish, I believe. Um, whether world news will change that or affect that, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's definitely going to look bullish, especially because it's going to take longer for miners to actually mine the Bitcoin.
And Gabby, one thing that happens is that as people put money in Bitcoin and then they start taking profits, then they pull those profits and put them into altcoins, or it kind of goes Bitcoin, then large cap, or ETH, and then it goes large cap altcoins, then smaller cap until the money is finally, I guess, in NFTs. Probably will be the end of the cycle, but who knows? That's just typically how it works in most cycles. But I guess each one of them could be a little different. Go ahead, Clifford.
hey, thanks, Queen. I just wanted to say and point out this one, this run in particular, is different than the ones that preceded because We've got new institutional money that is flowing in, and they are working to get, various approvals, and that's going to bring a lot of liquidity to Bitcoin and Web3 in general. Not only that, but mixed with a halving year and also an election year. So you've really got a trifecta there. And I'm going to say this too. Once the institutional money is in, it's not going to go out. So what I think will happen is basically right now, or the time leading up to right now and forth, once these approvals are made, normal people, it will be almost unattainable probably for a normal person to afford a full Bitcoin, in my opinion, once this big money gets into it. So right now, and I could be totally wrong, not financial advice here, but once the big money's in it, it's going to be really hard for smaller players or, normal people, retail individuals to attain what we're able to get right now. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely the perfect storm, isn't it, with everything going on? And I think the predictions that I'm seeing most often are that the earliest we could get a ETF approval would be the first part of January. So, that could impact the market significantly, even before the halving.
And to that, there's two people running that I know. Well, I don't know, but they have stated that they are pro Bitcoin and pro crypto. So that's positive too. If one of them were, able to get in there. So
Who is it, Clifford?
I think, RFK, he stated that he said that he even holds some Bitcoin. And I think Vivek also said that he holds some, or I don't know that he said he holds it, but I think he said that he's, about it or whatever. But we'll see with either one of those guys. But it's just good to hear, candidates openly speaking about something that is, really, I mean, it's important, you know, could be one of the most important things that's ever happened in finance. So,
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the legislators, but because there's one of the articles that we had, Representative Blaine Lutmeyer. I may not have to be saying that right. Um, he's talking about actually Representative Patrick McHenry, who won't be seeking re-election. So this Representative Lutmeyer is up next. I guess could be um, in the running for the House Financial Services Committee chair that McHenry's leaving. And as you know, McHenry's been a pretty vocal supporter of crypto. And this next guy is maybe not so much. So he's criticized. Binance CEO said he represented the worst of the crypto industry. Um, so yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what happens and who takes his place. But this Representative McHenry, he'll be retiring at the end of his current term, January 2025. He's led efforts to advance crypto legislation out of his committee during the summer, including one bill that would regulate stablecoins at the federal level and another that takes a comprehensive approach to crypto's market structures. It says both bills would need to garner support from the Senate, which could prove to be tough next year. So, without getting into too much political chat, you guys want to talk about this topic real quick?
Stand with crypto, pro crypto. That's about it for me.
For those that don't know, Calvin, can you explain that a little bit? The initiative.
So as far as there are many initiatives, despite the hashtags and all of that. Ultimately, there is a anti-crypto group, and there there's a play, I guess you can say, with uh I mean, I wouldn't take it in the sense of warfare. I don't want to take it to the extreme. But people have friends in high places. I can say that. And they will favor their friends, and especially if they are working hand to hand with their friends doing under the table transactions. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't favor blockchain transactions, or the public ones at that. They might work with those private blockchains so they can do more under the table transactions. But ultimately, uh, I will hope to see, some type of regulatory framework in the future, especially while he's still holding the seat. And granted, people could be skeptical about these stable coins. If we could secure the stable coins, we still secure DeFi in some type of way. Like ultimately, you will have a secure entry point. Whatever you do with your USDT, uh, whatever you do with your USDC, your UST, your PYUSD, or whatever so have you. Whatever you do with your stable coins, as long as you can get them in your self custody wallet, you whatever you do with them at that point is on you. But as far as acquiring these stable coins, they still fall under the umbrella of crypto. And for all of the anti-crypto people who are, holding seats in many financial sectors or boards or whatever so have you, they will shed a bad light on these stable coins as well. Even if we can't guarantee everything, we gotta start somewhere. So hashtag stand with crypto, hashtag pro crypto.
Thanks, Calvin, so much. Yeah, it's important for us to all speak up. And, if we don't speak up, who's going to? So definitely check out that Coinbase initiative and reach out to your legislators and, let people know that you support crypto. Gabby, we haven't heard from you in a sec. You want to weigh in here?
Yeah, all I know is that, I do believe in crypto, and it's wonderful to see that people are beginning to adopt it slowly but surely. However, I think it's really important for bigger institutions to really see that, hey, this is something, that's important, not only just to the people, but it's important for us too to get in on it, and have some part in it. And it's kind of like and I'm sure we'll probably get to it. IBM. I am a big fan of IBM, and how they've been around. They're a blue chip company. They've been around forever, and so they're beginning to understand more and move towards the technology. So the adoption is coming, but you still just have a lot of You still have some resistance, and I was really excited about seeing that article. Not only did I, see it here, but it was nice to see it. I posted it on my LinkedIn, because I think it's important for everybody to see, that there are companies that are tried and true companies that have been around forever, and it's more important than we can imagine. But there's been a lot of silence around it. But it's coming forth, and I think it's important for us to not only acknowledge it through, the centralized exchanges and calling our legislatures, but it's also important just to see companies come out with different articles that we can share. So the adoption is there. It just takes time. So.
Definitely. And, you mentioned that, and we were talking about Coinbase, and I thought it was kind of cool. One thing that I pulled up was that Coinbase is dominating the custody services that are part of the Bitcoin ETF application. So far, 9 out of 12 of the prospective issuers have chosen Coinbase for their custodian. So Grayscale, ARC 21 shares, BlackRock, Bitwise. Um, I'm trying to think of some names that you guys know. Valkyrie, Franklin Templeton, they all chose Coinbase to be their custodian. The only ones that so far have chosen different are VanEck chose Gemini, Fidelity chose self custody, and then there's one Hashdex has an NA beside it. So interesting to see how Coinbase is really leading the charge here, not only in payments, being able to do these payment off ramps and stuff, but also the ETFs, how they're getting involved. And last week we talked about their USDC connection and how they're really making moves as far as stable coins too. So very interesting what Coinbase is doing. Who wants to take that?
I'll say something on Coinbase. I believe and I feel like they have positioned themselves very well to be the beneficiary of all of that income that comes from these major companies and players getting involved. Um, he's outspoken. He's getting out there. He's going to Washington. He's going where he needs to go. He's doing the meetings. Um, you know, it's good that there's adoption from um, a institutional aspect coming in. But I would also say you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So, um, you know, who knows what is behind that? And but at this point, anybody that's fighting for the adoption and the regulation needed to create mass adoption in this industry have to pull for them. You know what I mean? So more power to them.
Definitely. Thanks, Clifford. That's a great take. Calvin, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Clifford on not having all of your eggs in one basket. And mainly I'm more interested in like Fidelity's self custody and even like segueing into like other forms of self custody because when Gabby brought up that the IBM thing, I dove into that article about the air gap wallet. I've okay, to my knowledge, I have experienced me still having access to my finances, although I might not have the internet connection to say like make transactions. I could still tap my card if the finances are already there. So no internet connection needed. But when I was one again, Fidelity having self custody is like, okay, they said we're not dealing with nobody. We want to just handle our own money. And I mean, I mean, what could you say? That ultimately, like, as long as we can check that wallet, what can you really say? Gemini is a tad bit, you know, I mean, I'm surprised crypto.com isn't in the mix just for being seasoned. And Gemini is about as seasoned as crypto.com. But from my experience, even before buying my first token, I would think there would be more players. But I guess, in terms of business and then you want to deal with other people's business, maybe people don't want to deal with so many different partners. Even the same way with Fidelity doesn't they don't want to deal with any partners either. Coinbase is willing to build with those who seek to build, and more power to them. Um, but I do want to segue into this whole air gap wallet thing. Like simply put, from what I'm reading, no internet connection needed. Is there like a way other people can get in on this? I mean, I see one company getting into this, but I've never heard of this type of thing before.
Who wants to take that question? Gabby, go ahead.
Yes, for the air gap wallets, there are other companies that offer air gap wallets. As far as when it comes to big institutions, I will say IBM being the first one, that was very interesting. But there are companies who issue air gapped wallets. And I kind of always thought of it as if, let's say you need to go somewhere. And again, like you said, Calvin, you can tap your card. But there's, other air gap type wallets because sometimes we can't always be connected to the internet. So if you don't want to use, maybe Coinbase, the Coinbase, card or a crypto.com card, you could use something like an Arculus. Arculus is something that is a wallet that is air gapped. Also the Keystone, the Keystone more looks like it looks like a outdated cell phone, kind of reminds you of BlackBerry. But it's also air gapped as well, where you can actually keep money on it and you don't have to be tied to the internet. So you can walk around with it, not lose it. Kind of like could lose a ledger, but the ledger you have to be connected to the internet. So I think it is important to understand all different types of wallets because you need to see what works best for you. And I'm not sure, again, cards can be put into a wallet like your Apple Pay or Google Pay or Samsung Pay, whatever wallet you use. But I think you can sign for the transaction. So I know for the Keystone you can, for Arculus you cannot. So that you can verify your transactions through the Keystone. But I think it's just easier to maneuver around with something that is not connected to the internet. But for going back to what Calvin said earlier, wanting to know more about this, having a big institution making an air gapped wallet, that's very interesting. And to make it secure. So, IBM being that first one, and again, I have to go back and say I really like IBM, tried and true, but they're willing to change and update with the times to still stay relevant, not only as a company but relevant with the community. So I think those organizations will stand out a lot more than those who don't adopt. And maybe it'll help encourage people that they already have partnerships with to come in and join the movement. So I think that'll be a big help. So it's really great to see IBM move in that direction.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. And who knows? We might even see a Fidelity air gap wallet. I mean, they would have their own custody for whatever type of innovations that they want to do. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe. And I mean, yeah, ETFs and their own different type of wallet, a whole different type of story. But ultimately, they will have their own money to, I guess, use for funds in order to build and innovate, let alone, all these other people might have to answer to Coinbase. And realistically, we don't want to show favoritism at all. They are a company who is liable of going under, as all companies. And if they go under, so would everything else. And that is a risk that these companies are taking. So technically speaking, in the word of a Degen, Fidelity is technically like doing the most bullish thing. They said, "Look, we got it." So that I find that funny. Like, although, like, yeah, this list was very bullish, and it's like, yeah, Coinbase all over the place, but Fidelity said, "Nah." I just gotta take that into consideration.
Bender, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still tripping off the Senator retiring. Yeah, he probably didn't have the best crypto laws, but or bills, I should say, coming out, but they were better than everybody else's, so that really just hurts. I'm sorry. Um, Coinbase going to Coinbase. You know, I mean, the best I can put on recorder space, man. It just looks like some chess pieces being moved around, and Coinbase has positioned itself quite well. Like some other pieces get taken off the board. So yeah, it is what it is. But I guess you do need an advocate. And my bias of being a U.S. citizen, it might as well be a U.S. based advocate because one of the more influential governments in the world is definitely wielding their power, and it's good to see somebody that can at least have a seat at that table. So moving forward, we'll see how much is left after the dust clears, and just go from there. But like I say every week, you got BlackRock backing you. You just adding government officials and just telling them how you feel. Like I can't knock it on that side of it. But billion and trillion dollar industries are going to have their players and actors involved, and it's like no different from any other industry with that type of amount of money moving around. There's going to be some grease under the fingernails and behind the scenes and that kind of thing that get the job done in any way, shape, or form that needs necessary to do. And that's just kind of how the world turns. So I'm okay with it. And at least it keeps the door open, for crypto to have a say in the places it needs to be said. So I'll stop there. Thanks.
Sure, thanks, Fender. All right, any last takes on this one? I think we will probably make this one our final article of the night, and then we'll do some final thoughts. But we covered a whole bunch of things tonight. The only 3 articles that we didn't cover, so you guys jump in here if you wanted to talk about these. The SEC believes a judge, not a jury, should decide if crypto assets are securities. That was a December 4th filing in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. So we'll have to see what comes out of that case. Polygon's NFT sales volume is up over 150%. You can really see Polygon starting to make some moves. And then Crypto.com receives UK authorization as an electronic money institution. So we'll go around final thoughts, and if you guys want to reference some of these articles, go for it. Let's see. Sabotage, you want to be first? Oh, I think we lost him actually. Clifford, how about you?
Hey, Sabo's still showing as a speaker on my screen.
He just says listener
Yeah.
on mine. That's crazy. And what about Lope? Is he still a speaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody still is that was speaking.
That's so funny. Now I've got a request from Sabotage. Let me see about this. That's so weird.
Nah, final thoughts. Enjoy the space as always. Speaking with all of you, I learn something new every time I join. Bender's DMing me in the background, teaching me how to share things on the jumbotron. I'm learning. I mean, all kinds of things tonight. So just thank you everybody for sharing your knowledge with me, and everybody else. Um, I hope that this, I guess I'll call it a rally, continues. Hopefully it carries us into Christmas, and we're all able to have a nice happy Christmas and some green candles along with that. And I'll just leave it with everybody be safe. In Web3 and in RL. Um, Protect your assets, protect yourself, and stand with crypto every chance you get. And thanks again, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Clifford. You've been a great addition to our panel, and sure do appreciate it. You have some really thoughtful answers, and we're just glad you could be with us. All right,
Thanks, Queen.
anytime. Hey, Sabotage, can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes. I had to switch over.
Um, I'm just going to do a friendly reminder. The FOMC meeting will be happening December 12th to the 13th. I know I'm drilling this into you guys, but I'm sure you're going to find lots of volatility during that week, during that time. So plan accordingly. Uh, yeah, there's been a lot of interesting updates to Bitcoin ordinals. The SEC always, I'm not a fan of the SEC or Bill Gates or any of that stuff. But yeah, definitely learned some new stuff today. I really want to learn more about ordinals and ETH descriptions. They both seem extremely exciting, new technology. And thank you guys for hosting and having me up here. I appreciate that.
Hey, Sabotage, thank you for coming up. We really appreciate it. And you always have some great answers. So come back next week again. I'll be tagging you guys, trying to twist your arm to make you come back.
All righty.
Thanks, Sabo. Andrew, you still with us?
I am. Before I forget, if you're looking to learn more about ordinals, so Violetta Zeroni, she has spent months studying them, and every Friday, I believe it's every Friday at 2 p.m. EST, she is holding a space specifically to educate people on Bitcoin ordinals. Yeah, if you're not already following her, give her a follow and jump in that space. I believe she said it's every Friday she's going to be doing it. Her spaces are normally Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. EST anyways, but she's turning one into discussions on Bitcoin ordinals. Her co-host is normally Cristiano. Some of you may be familiar with him in the space. He's quite familiar with ETH inscriptions. He's actually, I'm going to say it, he created Pepe punks, and those are the first two. Yeah, I know, it's dirty.
I'm getting
dirty
one. I'm getting a custom one. Give me a custom one, Cristiano. Let's go.
What's that?
I asked him to make me a custom one. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, he's supposed to be making me a custom one, and he's having he's putting on Heart Basil at Art Basil. That's why I ended up getting my first two ETH. What are they called? Encrypted NFTs. Because I went and picked two of them up to attend the Heart Basil, where Tony Parisi and Nessie the Rilla and Violetta Zeroni, as well as other musicians, will be performing tomorrow night. No, that's on Friday night in Miami. And so yeah, that's why I've become a little bit familiar with these, is because Cristiano and Violetta, they're exploring them. Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. And this has been a great space. It's Wednesdays have been a good night. I love coming in here and hanging out with you guys. It's more laid back than the Shib recap, and yeah, obviously I jump up here and speak more. So
We're glad you do, Andrew. And I
it's
hope you
been.
have a.
Oh, go ahead, Queen.
I was just gonna say, I hope you have an amazing time at Art Basel and your space tomorrow. It's scheduled, correct? I think I saw an invite from Gabby.
Yep. I threw it up here in the Jumbotron. We will be having a space tomorrow, so Shayla's going to host that. Please forgive us if we have to adjust it a little bit as far as the time goes. I arrive at 3:45, and we're shooting for the space at 5 p.m. EST. And we're just going to do a little bit of dive as far as what's happening at Art Basel, where I'll be, what I'll be doing, and just a pop up space on that. And then I plan on doing some live feeds. I've got some ideas, and I want to discuss that tomorrow at the space. And yeah, so jump in there, hang out with us, and yeah, join us at Art Basel. It's going to be great. So appreciate all the knowledge you guys have brought tonight, and yeah, looking forward to the next one. Thank you much.
Yeah, definitely come back and speak with us next on the next one. We'd love to have you.
I will. This is it's a perfect time. I'm driving home right now, and normally I'm on the road with work, and so it's a good time for me to listen in or speak during that time. So yeah, it's perfect. Anyways, I'm rambling. Thanks
You're
again.
good. Thanks, Andrew. Have a safe trip.
Yeah, thanks. Wish me luck. I'm nervous getting on. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I used to love flying. I was always flying while I was in the military, and so I'm looking forward to being in the air again. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I've got the middle seat on every single flight.
Oh,
Yeah, I prefer the window, and if I can't have the window, I prefer the aisle. But I guess I'm gonna be in the middle. Uh,
yeah.
it's all right.
Well, maybe you'll have some kind person that'll switch with you, or an empty seat or something.
I'm hoping to get a window. I hope that maybe the person who has the window is like, no, I don't want the window. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, good luck. We'll move on to Gabby. Thank you for coming and chatting with us tonight, Gabby. It was fun to have you on the panel. And I guess we'll do this again tomorrow night, won't we?
Yes, we'll do it again tomorrow night. Thanks for having me. I do. I love this space. It's always you're always learning something new in this on Wednesday, and so it's been great being here and kind of sharing the space with everybody. Yeah, Andrew, be safe. I'm the same way. I don't like that middle seat, but you can always lay your head on your neighbor as you get tired. Sometimes people will just let you lay there because I don't know why. Something about that middle seat that just kind of makes you a little bit more tired than normal. But in traveling, wishing you safe traveling, and anybody else who happens to be going as well. Yeah, this has been a great space, and thanks for having me up. And I'll be sure to try to come back up again. But my nervousness with speaking, so I'm like, okay, I'm okay with the crowd and being in the crowd and listening. But this is a way to get over that fear. So anybody who has the fear of coming up and speaking, just do it. And thank you, everybody, for the encouragement. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Gabby. I'm so glad you said that. You're so right. It never is totally stress free, is it? It gets easier, but yeah, those butterflies still are there. Well, you have a good night, and thanks again, Gabby. We'll move over here to Calvin today. Any final thoughts?
I would simply say, definitely appreciate everybody for coming through. Uh, definitely learned a lot today, and shoot, things are definitely well, I don't know. It's pretty fun over here at Shib Army, to be honest with you. There's always something going on. But just as far as the entire Web3 space, things are starting to look fun again. And what comes up must come down. So prepare. But we are in better days, so we won't be seeing the low lows, or we just might. I don't know. But me personally, I'm very optimistic. And I have more to learn personally on not only information about forks, but information about uh inscriptions, ordinals, and more information on SRC20s. So yeah, got to hit the books. It's always room to grow. So let's grow. Appreciate you.
Let's do it. Thanks so much, Calvin. All right, Bender, I believe you're last.
Well, thanks for that.
Say, I was going to say the best for
Let's go
last.
through all the brilliant speeches and go to the guy that just has literally been lost for the last 2 hours. But no, seriously, um, I do appreciate first going back to what Clifford was saying here. No problem on the spaces because I learned so much more about the SRC20s from you and lads there. Because when Crypto Queen was reading the article, I was thinking about literally 3 completely different things that equal. What is it called? A ETH essential? What?
Inscription?
ETH essential. Inscription. Yeah, and yeah, I was just somewhere in far, far away galaxies. But yeah, it's so yeah, thank you for that. Gabby, heck, you hear me up here. I mean, no offense to myself, but if I'm up here, give it a shot. Yeah, it can't get worse, but that's okay.
Okay.
Uh, you, you you still can be up here and just hearing other people's voices, and less time of me talking is always good on here, or I'll or it'll just be a far outtake, but that's okay. Like Wednesdays, that's you're pretty much seeing what you get here, and I'm all right. I'm just gonna dive in and try and try to stay away from things that might get me into some litigation issues. That's about my 2 goals when I come in on Wednesdays. So yeah, thank every beautiful like how do I put this without being liable on a recorder space? But right, that's about my only 2 goals. But no, on all seriousness, thank you every single person out there listening that didn't come up and hung in here with us tonight. People that have kind of come and gone. And speaking of legends, big shouts out to Tenzio, Shiba Army legend, and I'm writing in some. I love her voice. Just let me put that out there. But yeah, it's yeah, I gotta hear her talk. It's she'll just like she just do audiobooks or something like for relaxation. It's like amazing. But yeah, the overall education I've received in here from all of you, and I will be looking out for that FOMC meeting, for example, sabotage. Yeah, it's just beautiful, and thank you, Crypto Queenie and Calvin Che, for really pushing this agenda and getting me way out of my comfort zone. And yeah, I might have enough for information and then some for a few years in my brain cells right now, based off the recap. But at the same time, there's room for the overall crypto and just things that are going on out here in the real world generally. So I appreciate y'all 1,000,000%. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bender. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. We really appreciate you showing up and sharing the love and the info and all that good stuff. So we'll be on Sunday night. Shib recap. It's let's see, get it straight, 7:30 Eastern, and then we'll be back here same time, 9 o'clock Eastern for the crypto recap next Wednesday. Go ahead, Bender.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have not seen the space come across my desk yet, but I'll just say Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's 6 p.m. UTC time. We'll be doing I'll just say an NFT theme space with Dream hosting. So looking forward to that, and some of the things I've seen behind the scenes, it looks like it's going to be pretty big. So we'll kind of see how it goes and go from there. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I get that in along with, of course, Lads NFT Talk Radio, Friday nights 8 p.m. too as well. And check your local listings for a she-related crypto space throughout the week. Big shouts out to Crypto Chrissy too. I know she does her thing on weekdays, usually in the morning. Well, usually pretty much all the time. I just know it's sometime around the mornings. Don't let me lie. I try to catch it on the weekends. But yeah, just everybody out there that's bringing education and information to the crypto space generally. I thank you so much for doing that. And I usually pick up something in the space. So don't think your efforts go unnoticed. If I'm there, I'm probably noticed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Andrew.
Did I hear you correctly that Dream is going to be hosting a space?
Oh, did I say
Yes.
that?
Yes,
Oh,
I can at least leak that part. I was waiting for the space to hit. I was hoping it would already be here so I could have shared it, but I'll at least give y'all that much. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's a space Saturday. I'll shoot the link out once everything's set up. But again, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC. I'll just say it's NFT themed. It's kind of morphed into what I originally thought it was going to be, but it's for a good. It's morphed in a good way.
Can y'all please? I asked this before, and I'm going to ask it again. Any SHIB ecosystem spaces, please, 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 please be throwing them in the lads' DMs. If it's outside of the normal spaces that, the time frames that I'm in a space, like I miss it. Even if I set alarms, it's so bad. But I want to make sure I'm attending that, and so if you guys could, yeah, uh, bring that to my attention. Just make sure I'm there.
Get
I know you
on.
guys aren't my keepers. I know you guys aren't my keepers, but like my mind is so split all the time. There's just
I'll
always
message
so much.
you every minute on Saturday. I'll send you a
Okay,
message every minute on
deal,
Saturday.
deal. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just literally found out about that one, whatever, about a half hour or so before the space started. I'll put it like that. So that just dropped. Y'all got breaking news right there.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, appreciate it. And one last thing. The website is under construction. ShibaSequoiaForest.com, under construction. Shout out to Left Brain. If you guys go and check it out right now, you can see what we've done for Art Basel, and it's going to stay that way for the next month. Well, a few things are going to be changing, but I'm headed to Miami to market our whole ecosystem, and so go check that out if you haven't seen it already. Front and center, the whole ecosystem. So let's grow.